Ciao. Welcome to Lesson 7. Today we're learning 8 of the most useful question words in Italian. How, who, what, where, when, why, which, and how much. These words are super important, because they let you ask questions and understand conversations better. In this first part, we'll focus on the first 4. How, who, what, and where. Then in part 2, we'll continue with when, why, which, and how much.
Come ti chiami? Chi è lei? Chi è lui? Cosa? Che cosa? Cosa fai oggi? Che cosa significa? Dove vai? Dov'è il bagno?
To get good at a language, learning how to ask questions is the absolute first step. Today we're going to look at a few super important Italian question words. They're like keys that can open the door to conversations with Italians. First is
Come,
which means how or like. This word is super versatile. You can use it to ask how someone is, or how something works. For example,
come stai?
Which means, how are you? Another very common one is
Come ti chiami?
Which means, what's your name? Next, we have
Chi,
which means, who. You use this when you want to ask about a person. For example,
chi è lei?
Means, who is she? Or,
Chi è lui?
which means, who is he? Another key word is
Cosa,
or.
che cosa?
Both mean, what? They are used to ask about things or actions. Now, here's a small difference.
Cosa
Is shorter, more common, and more casual. You'll hear this a lot in everyday conversation.
Che cosa?
Is a little longer, and it sounds a bit more formal or complete. But don't worry, both are correct, and Italians use both. For example,
Cosa fai oggi?
means, what are you doing today? And
Che cosa significa?
means, what does it mean? Then we have
Dove,
which means, where. It's perfect for asking about places or destinations. For example,
dove vai?
means, where are you going? And
Dov'è il bagno?
which means, where is the bathroom? Keep practicing these. They are some of the most useful words you'll hear in Italy. Great job! You've just finished part 1 of the Italian question words lesson. Now let's go a little deeper. Imagine you're traveling in Italy and need to ask, when does the train leave? Or you're at the gelato shop deciding on a flavor and you ask, which gelato do you want? These are the kinds of questions we'll cover in part 2. Let's continue.
Quando? Quando parte il treno? Quando arrivi? Perché? Perché sei triste? Perché studi italiano? Quale? Quale gelato vuoi? Quale libro leggi? Quanto? Quanta? Quanto costa? Quanta acqua bevi? Quanti? Quante? Quanti amici hai? Quante mele vuoi?
Now, let's move on to more essential Italian question words. We'll go through them one by one, with examples.
Quando?
It means, when. You use it to ask about time. For example,
Quando parte il treno?
means, When does the train leave? Another example.
Quando arrivi?
Means, when do you arrive? Next.
Perché?
This means, why. Use it when you want to know the reason for something. For example.
Perché sei triste?
Means, why are you sad? Another example.
Perché studi italiano?
Means, why are you studying Italian? Now let's look at
Quale?
which. This word is useful when you're choosing between options. For example.
Quale gelato vuoi?
Means, which ice cream do you want? Another example.
Quale libro leggi?
Means, which book are you reading? Now let's talk about how much. There are two forms, depending on gender.
Quanto?
Masculine singular. Use it for masculine and uncountable nouns. Example.
Quanto costa?
Means, how much does it cost? Another example.
Quanto zucchero vuoi?
Means, how much sugar do you want?
Quanta?
Feminine singular. Use it with feminine uncountable nouns. Example.
Quanta acqua bevi?
Means, how much water do you drink? Another example.
Quanta pasta cucini?
Means, how much pasta are you cooking? Now let's talk about how many. These are used when the noun is countable and plural.
Quanti?
Masculine plural. For example.
Quanti amici hai?
Means, how many friends do you have? Another example.
Quanti studenti ci sono?
Means, how many students are there?
Quante?
Feminine plural. For example.
Quante mele vuoi?
Means, how many apples do you want? Another example.
Quante persone ci sono?
Means, how many people are there? You're doing great.
Bravissimo! Grazie per aver imparato con me. Non dimenticare, iscriviti, metti un like, e guarda i prossimi video. Ciao ciao, grazie, arrivederci.
We learned a lot of phrases today, but don't worry if you can't remember them all right away. Just listen to the song a few times, and it'll all start to stick. Come back to review after singing, and you'll be surprised how much you've picked up. Let's go.